Welcome to another PC Sportscards PSA Submission Reveal. This is Josh with PC Sportscards. If you haven't checked us out before, we do videos of reveals on PSA, BGS, SGC orders, cards going to and coming back from them, and we give our outlook on the financial aspect and how you can make money grading cards. The reason we do it is because that's how we started our business, by buying collections, grading them, making money. So we like to share that information and how we got there with you. If that stuff's valuable to you, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, get alerts every single time we post something, and stick up with it. If you're already subscribed and think this is valuable to somebody else, please tell them about it. The more people watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, all that fun stuff will help us produce more of these for you. So this is bulk 2023.44, sent in on February 1st, received by PSA on the 6th, and back on the 8th. That is another sub and 1 month turnaround time. We are seeing that very, very, very consistently with ultra modern type subs. And this order was absolutely smoked in a good way. Our customers absolutely destroyed this order. 64% of the 150 or so cards are PSA 10s. 28% are PSA 9s. That means we have a 92 or 93%, depending on how you round, mint 9 or better rate, and Giannis White Sparkle. And some of the card, we have a lot of ultra modern in this order. Ton of ultra modern. We have 5 main topics to talk about, like we always do. Cool Bill Russell on card auto. But there's like an extra sleeve in there protecting the card. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. You guys see that? There's extra plastic in there. That's interesting. See the difference? You could feel the different weight in that slab as well. That's interesting. So, in this submission, we are going to talk about short prints. We're going to talk about base versus refractor. We're going to talk about what cards you can grade when somebody has a lot of stuff graded already, and a couple other things. So stick around so we can talk about all of those cool things with you. We got a 6 on this Nash. Usually with 6s and 5s, we see a crease or a fingernail somewhere. Trying to give it a quick look. A lot of glare in this case, and I think it's got the plastic sleeve over it, so it's a little harder to see. I don't see it, but obviously I'm missing something. Kawhi rookie auto. Another Larry Bird. Now, personally, I don't grade these thick cards mostly, but like if this gets a 10, it's a huge card. And this is a game-used patch auto Larry Bird. Love it. Absolutely love it. And now we're going to get into the meat of the stuff that crushed it. All right. So, what do you grade when somebody's overgraded? Big question, because you still might want to grade that person's cards. Bo Bichette, there's a lot of his base, a lot of his rookies, a lot of that stuff graded already. So you have to look for parallels or variations that would fit into making money on his cards if you want to grade more of his stuff. This Atomic Refractor is $5 raw. PSA 10 sells for $56 still. Card ladder value says $44. None have sold in a while. But we're still looking at PSA 9s with a card ladder value of about $24. So if you're putting $19 into it, very minimal risk to grade them and pretty solid upside. So that is a card that I would grade. You go 50-50, you're going to get $70 out of it, and you're going to be into it for 50. So you can make $20 on a card like that. I love those odds. And again, pop 30 out of 46, so odds are you're going to get a 10, especially if you submit 2, just increasing those odds. I like submitting cards in quantity. I like submitting 5 to 7 of a card if I can. Minimum 3 to 5 of a card. Just so I know I'm not going to be 100%. I know I'm not going to get them all. But I have my opportunity to hit them. See, now Rashawn Gary, not somebody that I'm grading, but this person might be grading this card to collect. Maybe that person, and I don't know, maybe that person sent in some other cards and is using the sales of those cards to pay for the Rashawn Gary PC. And not for nothing, I'm seeing a lot of Packer stuff here. Jair Alexander, Black Velocity. Devontae Adams red prism. So maybe it's just a package collector that wants to get his own stuff graded, and that's great. Generally, again, this has that thick inner, you could feel it. There's so much more weight to these cards and these slabs. Interested to find out, I'll probably ask why they are using that heavy interior slab with some of them. Luis Matos, you know I love grading chrome autos. So, we got the NCAA tournament starting tonight. My Sun Devils going off at 9:10 Eastern, which is the earliest game that they've played in a while. 2 tournament games they started at 11:30, which I snored through. So, very excited for the NCAA tournament. Everybody in my office, not named Zach, is not excited at all for it. So, our next topic that we're going to talk about, base versus refractor in non-auto chrome. So, we always talk about how it's better to spend a few more bucks to get, you can see the centering on this 9, by the way. It's better to spend a few more bucks to get a refractor because you'll see higher returns. The other safe part with that is that usually you get a little bit more value out of a 9 because it's a more expensive card. Jordan Walker, that's just not true. Jordan Walker is a guy, first of all, I will say I'm not buying Jordan Walker to grade and sell right now. I missed my opportunity. I think he's one of those hot names that came in the offseason because of a hot start. And I think there's a lot of opportunity. There was a lot of opportunity, but you have to learn from this and look in next year who those guys are. Look in basketball and hockey who those guys could be going forward to next year because there's going to be the same opportunity year after year after year. It's cyclical. But $28 raw, $47 for a PSA 9, and $118 for a PSA 10. You're only losing your eBay fees on that $47 sale. So take out 13-15%, something like that. You're losing $6 with each PSA 9, and you're making, call it a flat 100. You're making 50 with a PSA 10. That means you need to get like 1 out of 6 or 7 as a 10 to make money, and the odds are you're getting 60% PSA 10s. So this is a really, really safe card to grade to make money. The refractor's very similar. It's just more of a cost. So just like that last thing that I was talking about, I want to get quantity. I wouldn't consider getting quantity of base of a guy of the hot guy when there's not a lot graded. Now, if we're looking down the road, and the reason I use refractors is because this customer had refractors in there. I didn't just decide on the topic. But look, there's already 883 refractors graded also. So the problem is when you see this number get to 1,000, it's probably going to hit 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and that's when the refractor will surpass the base. So we got a 7 on this Pete Crow Armstrong. I mean, the corners are definitely soft on this card, but not 7 soft. It looks like there's a mark going through, like a check mark kind of going through the card. Now we got second year shimmer refractors. Those are good. And once you get past the first year, then you're going to start want to look for numbered cards. Like the speckle refractor is numbered to 299. Then we got a purple refractor, right? Purple shimmer, sorry, 250. So once you get past the rookie year, you want to start looking for the other products. Don Russ, Trevor Lawrence. I'm not even sure that these are profitable, but I will tell you I expect Trevor Lawrence prices to go up, just like I expect almost every quarterback's prices to go up in the coming months. But just because somebody's price is going to go up doesn't mean you should hold onto the card waiting to maximize it. So sometimes, especially if you're getting started off and you're doing your own $1,000 challenge or you're doing something like that, the cash flow and getting the cards back in, getting the money back in so you could buy more inventory has more value than actually holding onto the card that you have. So even if you're getting 90-95% of a sale, or you're getting 80-85% of a sale even, you're making money because you did your job, you did your homework looking over the cards to grade them. You're going to make your profit on the grading side and then be able to reinvest down the road and do it all over again and then get your snowball rolling. It's a snowball effect, right? Turn $1 into $1. Turn $1,000 into $1,600. Turn $1,600 into $2,500. Turn $2,500 into $3,700. Turn $3,700 into $5,200. $5,200 all of a sudden be $8,000 if you do it right. And then you could all of a sudden you could multiply really fast, and you need the velocity of the money there to do that. And holding on to get an extra 30, 40, 50 bucks might not be the answer when you're trying to just start that process. Now, if you all of a sudden have cash sitting around that you're not using because you can't find the right cards, then you can start considering holding on to cards for a little bit longer of a time period. But especially when you're just getting started, you want to go through them as fast as possible. All right, next up. So this is one that hits home for me because this is basically how I started grading for profit. So, do you grade SPs? Personally, I think they are some of the best cards to grade. They're desirable. There's not as many of them as the base cards. That's why they're called short prints. This O'Neal Cruz, perfect example, $26 for a raw, $90 for a PSA 10, Pop 11, not a lot of them out there. So, when I first started grading was 2013, 14, 15. One card that I graded probably more than anything else was the 2015 Topps Carlos Correa in dugout short print variation. I would be picking those up for $15 to $20 on eBay, and I'd be selling them for $75 to $80. BGS 9.5s. I would spend, I think it was like $6 or $8 grading them. So I was into it for like $30, and I would sell it 75, and this is when I didn't have as much money to get started, right? This was when I was in that grind phase. It was a total different world that I'm in right now. That's cool. So I was able to take $25 and turn it into $65 after fees. Then that $65, I'd buy 3 more, and I'd get 2 or 3 more 9.5s. Or I'd get that with BGS. Then I would get lucky. I'd get a 10, and I'd sell it for like $200. And all of a sudden, I probably graded like 30 of those cards, and made hundreds and thousands of dollars, which to me now wouldn't be as meaningful. But when you're first starting, you could find a card or two like that you could just keep on going back to and back to and back to and back to and back to, and really make a lot of money doing the same thing with the same card over and over again. And you'll see us doing that when we buy cards. I buy a lot of Trout refractors, Trout color, because I know that when I get the good grades, this is cool, Acuna, number 10 of 25, Galactic Lava something or other. You find the stuff that you know, and the other advantage of that is you'll find customers that'll buy it every single time, and you can start doing deals in other places other than eBay with customers like that, and it's just smart, right? It's just smart business to go through the same thing over and over again and find other variations or other Topps cards or other something or other that you know better than anybody else. So being an expert in something is great. And after you become an expert in one thing, then you start looking for the next thing to do and the next card to go after. We got a Tua Optic. We got Justin Jefferson. These shock cards are such hard grades. This is really cool. Justin Jefferson color match. That just looks like a badass card to me. Mozakata yellow. Robert Hassel, I don't know. Not for me. Austin Hendrick, not for me. But I'm sure there's money in them. Love grading Bowman Chrome, everything, so. Brooks Robinson tribute. So like I said in the beginning, if you guys see value in what we're doing, if you guys like it, don't like it, comment. But if you see value, please hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to. See if we can help them out. Also, Tristan McKenzie. I mean, I know you got a 10 on this, but I don't grade the thick cards. 2 for 2 on 10s. That's great. This is a cool card. Name of Renaissance. We got a couple more topics to hit still. I know there's not a lot left. SSPs and SPs. I love it. I love this order. I think our customers did phenomenal here. Bobby Witt, Generation Next Black, numbered to 299. Kenny Pickett Mosaic. All right, the last 2 cards we're going to talk about, basically the same topic. Remember rule number 1. You want a great card that somebody else is going to pay you a premium for. This Pop 1 Mike Evans, you might get lucky. You might get 70, 80 bucks out of it. But I think these go for about $50 to $60 in general. Genesis PSA 10s of a guy like Mike Evans. In February, it was $26. In March, it's $13 raw. Those are both raw prices. He's the kind of guy I would consider looking for at a discount in off-season, but I'm not so sure that there's people out there willing to pay premium. Now, there might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are willing to pay that premium, so the first few might do well, but over the long haul, it's just not a card that I would look for to grade. Maybe grade the first one or second one of a guy like that, like this customer did. But after that, I think it's a losing proposition. So you have to be careful when you're evaluating the values, because if it's somebody that that's a very low pop, you might get tricked into buying something that long term won't pay out by the time you get it back. So the numbers aren't always 100% accurate, right? The numbers are accurate, but what they say, I guess it's the old saying for stock advisors, right? Past performance is not indicative of future performance. So you have to be careful with guys like that. Chrome update Pujols. And here's another example of the same kind of thing. This is only Pop 8. There have been none sold, but they go for $10 raw. This is a Julio Rodriguez, non-licensed Mosaic. Mosaic's hot right now. You could see a raw did 20, a PSA 10 of silver. So that's the silver, not the Mosaic silver. Raw did 20, and a PSA 10 did 80. So I think we'll see a lot of sales like that. So again, this is another one that if I hit it, I would get it in quickly, but not one I would end up chasing. I think the Mosaic silver, I think the silver should be like $10, and then my odds get better. But I also think that this will end up being $50 to $60. So it is a card that somebody is obviously willing to pay a premium for, but how many people are willing to pay a premium for the non-licensed cards? On the flip side of that, if everybody thinks the same way and doesn't get it graded, you have an opportunity to be grading cards like that. So we're not always right. We're not always wrong. Somewhere in between. Take it with a grain of salt. Not what I grade, but just because I don't do it or we don't do it doesn't mean that it can't be something that works for you. So another video down. Go Devils tonight. Look forward to get a couple more videos up for Thursday, Friday, and Monday. And have a great week. Thanks for watching.